up there, I can move those guys around.
Yeah, there's four of us actually. What happened
Hi, I'm just in the meeting.
is, our first is it?
Yeah, just what I'll
That's okay.
They might have the answer.
4 by 6.
Give you some less extra credit.
All right, let's get this head. So I figured I'd go today and there's no way to point like the flu, and they said, I'll confess it.
But this you can see that.
This is blood test. It's not gonna work.
People kids in your house,
They have arthritis.
can't be a female. I guess so. No. Oh, I see the hinges. I want to call. Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, thanks for coming. Good to see you.
Excuse me, if you give us a presentation, if you can stand over there, like the first 3 months, then I can work them up. That's fine. They can move wherever they want, as long as they're not sort of off and to the back.
So standing there talking.
Anywhere around, they'll be fine.
Good.
Big queen.
Is everybody here? Are you guys all ready?
Yes, yep, they're coming in.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Nice to have a large group of happy people here. I met earlier with the 8th graders both down at Mayor's Park and also down at the subway to kind of just get a quick overview of their project. I really felt like when people show initiative that it's well worth hearing everything they have to say, and they put a lot of work into this, and so I thought it'd be good to get a little, we get a little air time here. We do film the meetings. Actually, and I'd like to introduce our recreation board, because they're actually the people that you guys, that, you know, if this moves on, they'll be dealing with you. So we have the chair, Bruce Campbell, and Steve Etta, and Jeff Phillips.
And Ruth Ann Parr, our
Oh,
newest member.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. She's not getting.
So, and thank you guys for coming, I appreciate it. So, if we have representatives here, if we want to start with whichever project you want to start with. If you want to start with the skateboard, that's the recreation's purview, really. So whoever would like to speak on behalf, and introduce yourselves, and maybe give us a little background on what led up to this, or why you started this, and all the work you put into it.
I'm Mikey Covelli. I'm Ryan Merritt.
And I'm Bowser Beecher.
we wanted to build a skate park because that's what we like to do and stuff. Yeah, and the further, yeah.
Okay, that's a good reason.
There are 6 million skateboarders in the United States, and the closest skate park to Cold Spring is 30 to 40 minutes away. We are taking a Discover, Create, Innovate class, and these are the people in the class. Me, Mikey Covelli, Ryan Merritt, Bozzy Bechek, and 14 others. In our class, we had to pick something that we were passionate and something that would help the community. We're in 8th grade, Haldane Middle School, and we want to build a skate park.
When the nice weather hits, usually people start to skateboard in town and ruin the curbs around town too.
Excuse me, just for a second, just speak up a little louder so we can hear you, okay?
Alright.
Thank you.
And, shall we start?
Yeah, we start.
When the nice weather hits, people start to skateboard in town and ruin the curbs around town. And kids start to become bored and might find themselves in trouble. On average, one skateboarder a week dies in the United States as a result of a skateboarding-related accident. Nearly all these tragedies happen on the streets. A few of us, we have to go to a skate park that is around 30 to 40 minutes away, like Mikey said. And sometimes it's very difficult to get a ride to the skate park. And this is one of the reasons to build a skate park. And also to increase business in Cold Spring.
We want to make a place in Cold Spring for friends and skaters to hang out. We're trying to make a fully functional skate park with all sorts of ramps. During the summer, we love to bike and skate, and we usually run out of places. There are 12 ramps, including a grind box, grind rail, quarter pipes, a kicker, a double, a roller. The area we chose is 50 by 60 feet. The location is Mayor's Park.
And for funding, there's a website named Kickstarter where you raise money by taking in donations. And for maintenance, we will put in money for a maintenance fund, and overall the skate park will end up costing around $100,000. And some other skate parks that raised money with Kickstarter were Parasite, and they wanted $24,000, and they ended up getting around $44,000. And Switch and Signal, who wanted $11,000, and they got $13,000. Oh, and in conclusion, this is why we want to build a skate park in Cold Spring.
So just to stop you for a second, the money that you said they got, that came from where did they come from?
Donations.
From private donations. They were asking for 11 and they got 13 from.
And then also 24, and they were asking also for 24, and they got 44,000.
Okay, that's from the local, wherever the place was, the local, okay.
And how much did you say this park would cost?
Around $100,000.
It's hard to say that without smiling, isn't it? Go ahead, sorry to interrupt you, I just wanted to.
Alright, that's it. Thank you for our time.
Okay, do you want to introduce your teachers who have,
Oh, yeah.
come along here?
Miss Gesson and Miss Hartford.
Thank you guys for your time. So, please, you guys have other questions for you?
Where would it be located at Mayor's Park?
Like, you know, in the right corner, like in the back.
By the railroad
Mhm.
tracks? Okay. Where is that in terms of the basketball court?
Oh, the basketball court's on the other side.
Yeah.
This would be straight back from the pavilion, right in that corner. That's their initial.
Okay. And the basketball
In
court
the
is
grass
to
area
the-
between the pavilion and the tracks, that large opening on.
Yep. And would it be lighted, or it would be daytime only?
Yeah, daytime only.
Daytime.
And how, would you make this yourself, or somebody has to come in and make it, or how does it get created once you get the money?
Someone has to come in and make it.
So you have to get an outside company?
And have you thought of, and scaling back a little if you have to to start the park and maybe, start with a few of the, ramps or whatever is needed?
Mhm.
Do you have like a list in costs for this? Like for any of the,
They said they like price it by like how like big the area is.
so they would just give you one package, sounds, or no?
Like
Or
what
could
ramp?
you tell them what you would like to have? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And who is they?
The Tony Hawk Foundation.
if you could only raise this year $25,000, would you want to go ahead with one or two of the structures, or would you wait for the 100,000?
I say just wait, so it's all like here at one time.
You'd wait until, okay, thank you.
What is on the ground, I mean, right now it's mud and grass or whatever else, so what is this, cement?
Yeah.
Concrete? So that has to be dug out and poured, right?
Mm-hmm.
The rec board have anything you guys want to say, or I don't know how you want to follow up? Like I said, the rec board is, they're
Well,
in charge
they
of
mentioned
recreation.
maintenance, but did you have, the Tony Hawk Foundation give you an idea about a structure this large, what the annual maintenance might be,
No.
and who would perform that?
Well, we were thinking we would do volunteer work, maybe like one of us or some of us would do volunteer.
What kind of maintenance is involved?
Well, like,
In case rocks get on there, like
Mhm.
just sweep it off and stuff, cause it can get under the tires and stuff.
And when it rains, like somehow like maybe we could put a like drain in it, so it doesn't all like stay in one
get
spot.
puddle out.
And well thought out.
And my last question is, did the Tony Hawk Foundation give you an idea, when some of these are built in public places, who pays the insurance on them and what insurance might cost for this type of facility?
I don't think they stated that
Hmm?
I don't think they stated that on their website.
Okay. That's something you might wanna consider
Yeah.
investigating.
Is there any possibility of grant money for anything like this, do you know?
Of what?
Grant money is like a typical, money you would get from like politicians or people involved in an organization like this where you don't have to raise it, it would be given, so maybe you could get a grant for $10,000 to get you started.
No, well, we haven't talked to them yet.
Okay, I mean, that's something that we, you could look into, right, Bruce may.
Some of these, it's good presentation. Over all the years that I was, either was on the village board or on recreation, we've had other proposals from two other classes. I'm just saying that it's been here before, not to this degree where they had a presentation like you put out here. So it's good that you put that out there just for the sake of new rec members that haven't really dealt with a request like this before. I think Steve Etta, one of the longest rec members in the village, definitely did. But as you hear some comments from people here, whether it's maintenance, liability, the site itself is a good site. Just to let you know, there is some wetness that we experience down in that corner at different times throughout the year. So all these little things is what eventually you can meet with the recreation again, the committee, and then we can go over these things so you can put a plan together on addressing each one of these issues. And then at that point, we update the village board with our recommendation, and they would probably make a final decision on it, But it's a good plan. It's something, like I said, that has been presented to the village board or the recreation commission before. It never really got anywhere because of all the little obstacles that you may have run into with trying to get this thing established, especially the cost of $100,000 or whatever. It's a lot of money to raise, And the only other part is a supervisor, supervision while you're doing your skating job. That's another piece you should put in your notes that we would ask about. That all falls in line with the liability and everything else insurance-wise. Nothing you have to think about tonight, but something that we'll be talking about in the future. So when you put this plan together and it's approved or not approved, that we covered everything, So
I think one other thing that's nice about it is, because there are bathrooms there, but the other part is that those bathrooms have been vandalized and need continuous work. So that's something you might wanna think about is, since it is where it is, way out in the back, is vandalism, like it is in the bathroom in Mayor's Park, gonna be one of your maintenance upkeep issues, unfortunately. But you have to think of the whole picture, that's all. We're just bringing those things to you.
One question to you guys, Bruce, the basketball area, does that get used at all, or could that be transformed into something for both,
It
or
possibly
used?
could. There's space there as well, but I think they have to definitely coordinate with the baseball team.
Right,
Since there's no fence out there, that they wouldn't be able to have the skaters out there while there's a baseball game going on.
right.
and almost the area where they're at, they have to be concerned about foul balls over into that area while the Haldane ball game was going on.
I'm just thinking of the place, it's already paved out there, that would save the cost of excavating, and
Yeah,
the basketball doesn't get, I mean, I've never seen anyone down, oh, actually, I've seen a couple people down there, I'm not saying they'll eliminate, I'm just asking if that's an option, it would save quite a bit of money, I would imagine.
yeah, I think it's, I mean, I brought this up to the AD, but I'm just talking about something else on the ball field as far as the maintenance they do down there, and I'll bring that up at our rec meeting tonight, but, when we talk about the square footage of the area that you want, it might be a consideration to look at what Dave's talking about, because the other area does get a little wet, which might cause more money to the project because of the structural part that you have to do so you don't sink, or the dampness and the whole thing down in that corner. Because also, anything around that project is gonna have to be maintained, whether it's weed whacking the lawn around it, or whatever that might mean. You mentioned rocks on the, and then the whole thing, like I said earlier, I hate to say all these negative things that came up over the years, but they're the things that we have to address no matter what board addresses it. It's noise, it's liability, it's, the maintenance of it and all that type of thing. So, I know you kids get excited with it, but those are the things that we all make a decision on to make sure that it's the right decision for you and for everyone, you know.
Butters, people on the other side of the road,
Yeah.
neighbors.
The other thing is, as a village and as a rec department, we really should be involved in having activities for you guys and younger people, and that's one of the things we've brought up more and more about the whole opioid addiction and where we're at with that, and not having any place or anywhere for anyone to go, leads to boredom or whatever, and so, you know, it would be nice to have something that would be used and that, you know, we could be proud of and that people could invest their time in, so. I'd like to thank you for all your efforts on it. I think like Bruce said, we do look at the negative stuff or the stuff that's gonna cost us, you know, we have to do, we can't just say, yeah, go ahead, but, you know, I think, you know, those guys can discuss at their meetings and we can move ahead, but, you guys did a great job, and, let's keep, you know, staying invested in, you know, what you like, and keep going after it, and we'll see, and we'll do what we can to help you here, so, and start working on maybe some fundraising ideas and how you're gonna do this, quite a bit of money, so. Cool.
Thank you. Nice to
Thank you
meet
very much. Okay, next up, we have the subway, which we have a flip top here also, so.
Our names are Eden, Sydney, Madison, Megan, and Patrick. We're in 8th grade at Haldane Middle School, and we are in Miss Gesson's DCI class.
Our intent with this project is to create a cleaner and more welcoming attraction for our town with the tunnel. And we presented this idea to Mrs. Gesson in September, and we've been working on it and researching it ever since, and we also created a model. But it's a little hard to show you it now because we have to like flip it over and like show you the inside. So at the end when we're done, if you want to see the inside, because there's art on the inside, we can show you when we're all done.
Okay.
In September, we decided that we would pick this project to do in Miss Gesson's CCI. And then November, we went down to the mayor and we looked down at it and we saw that it was very old. It was built in 1929, and it didn't really look like it's been renovated since. The lights are all old, the walls are cracking, and the floor is covered in garbage. Like, not covered, but it has garbage on it. And we decided we could make it better.
So we built a model to scale, and we would like to replace the light bulbs with LED bulbs to make it brighter, paint colorful murals on the walls, and inspiring messages on the stairs. We would also like to put trash cans in the tunnel with scented trash bags. And we know this project is not possible at the time, so we would like to start work in the spring.
We researched how much the stuff for the tunnel would cost, and the paint would cost about $40 per gallon. The light bulbs would be $15 for 2 bulbs, and we need 5. And the trash bags for 50 Glad scented bags, it would be $11. And we were thinking like once a week somebody whoever's in charge of like the maintenance now could change the trash bags in the winter and then twice a week in the summer because it would get more use. And we were also thinking like if the town has somebody like checking for graffiti now, that they could just continue to do that once we painted the murals. And we did research and we found out that the tunnel is about 800 square feet and 1 gallon of paint would cover 400 square feet.
Well, we are the 2018 DCI class, and this is what we'd like to do.
Okay, well, nice job again, very nice job. I think one of the things we talked about was, I think you had mentioned stairs, and if you go down there, you see how the salt and stuff will deteriorate that, whatever you do there quickly. And also, if you go down now, you'll see how the walls are kind of glazed over in a lot of areas with like moisture and whatever. So whatever we do, we'll have to work with the highway on it and get the right paints, and there's gonna have to be some prep work, which somebody would probably, we'd probably have to do or do for you guys so that you can, do the painting. I think if you guys came up with drawings of exactly what you'd like to do for us on a piece of paper that you could send to us, is that possible?
It's in the tunnel.
It's on the
Okay.
inside.
Can you open
inside.
it?
There's like 2 different ones, and then the.
You can leave a look at them, come down.
I looked at it before, it looks great.
I like the messages on the stairs.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Very
What
nice.
class was this?